Shields, Dicaire, Superwoman from Flint. Let's get inside the ring with Ray Flores.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Dort Financial Center here in Flint, Michigan, it is now time for our main event of the evening. 10 rounds for the unified WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Salida Promotions in association with Group Yvonne Michelle. Sponsored by Bet Online, the Dort Financial Center, and Veggie. Your three judges scoring this World Championship affair at ringside will be Mauro Di Fiore, Perla Rodriguez, and Robin Taylor. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds is Mike Griffin. Introducing first, fighting to my left out of the red corner. She comes in wearing the white trunks with the gold. Her official weight, 152.6 pounds. As a professional, she is perfect. 17 bouts, 17 victories. Joining us from Saint Eustache, Quebec, Canada, she is the reigning and defending IBF Super Welterweight Champion of the World. Ladies and gentlemen, Madame et Monsieur, please welcome Marie-Ève Dicaire. And across the ring, her opponent fighting out of the blue corner. She comes in adorned in the purple and gold, weighing in officially at 153.6 pounds. As a professional, she too is undefeated. 10 wins, 2 of those coming by way of knockout. This two-time Olympic gold medalist joins us and represents Flint, Michigan. She is the former super middleweight, former undisputed middleweight champion of the world, and she is the reigning and defending WBC and WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the world. Tonight, she looks to make history by becoming the first fighter to become an undisputed champion in 2 divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Claressa T-Rex Shields. Your referee in charge here to give instructions is Mike Griffin.
Okay, ladies, I gave you my instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now. You're boxing the bell. God bless you both.
The last time a women's fight has headlined a pay-per-view boxing event was 2001. Layla Ali, Jackie Frazier lied.
It's rained a couple of times.
Claressa Shields, Marie-Ève Dicaire picking up the legacy here in Flint for all the hardware at 154 pounds.
In a historical moment where a young lady has decided to take her destiny in her own hands.
It's Shields, Dicaire, let's do it from Flint. The main event here on pay-per-view. Claressa Shields in the purple and gold trunks. Dicaire in the white and gold. And this is just the second southpaw that Claressa Shields has faced in her career, the first since Sydney LeBlanc in her 3rd pro fight. And a big looping overhand right from Shields to start off the action in round 1.
One of the things that Marie-Ève said was how loose she was walking into this fight, because she has absolutely nothing to lose. She's had belts, she's had world championships. At this point in time, she understands the risk, and compared to what she's gonna get, recognition, respect, it's a win-win situation for her.
Big snap counter from Shields, who said that last performance against Ivana Habazin was the sharpest she felt in her career, and she rattles Dicaire just a bit with 2 hands as she stumbles back on her heels. Everything from the edge of the ropes to the middle of the ring now here. And Dicaire taking a lot of pride on her movement inside the ring. She eats a right hand from Shields.
There's a certain poise and calm in Claressa. She's not letting the nervousness that Dicaire is showing in the ring to get to her. She's in the middle of the ring, just waiting.
A big wide right hand, and we have heard Claressa Shields say, "Hey, I want to pull an Ann Wolf here on this event in the first round." She's usually in the habit of the first round, you know, get to know you round for Claressa Shields for sure. But she came out as a very strong aggressor in that opening 2 minutes.
It's a calm aggression. As you can see, she was not really looking for Dicaire until she actually had her within her range. So she's being she's conserving energy. She's not just throwing punches. She understands that this could be a long haul.
Marieve Dicaire, 34 years of age, and she picked up a unanimous decision victory in November of 2019 against Ogledi Suarez. A ranked welterweight out of Venezuela, lost just 1 round across the judges' scorecards in that matchup. But right before then, June of 2019, outboxed a then 42-year-old Maria Lindberg of Sweden. Again, massive step up in competition for Marieve Dicaire despite a 17-0 perfect ledger in her pro career. As round 2 begins here in Superwoman, and unloading the fists is Shields.
You can see the razor focus on Claressa Shields' face. She has that jab right in front of her. You see, it's a very short jab, just short enough and fast enough.
Dicaire trying to find an opening without getting smacked on a counter here. What do you think of the jumpiness and how she's moving around?
It can be a combination of nervousness and the fact that she just wants to stay nimble on her toes. Remember, at this point in time, because she is a southpaw, there's a danger that Claressa could step on her foot and then avoid her mobility, and it's exactly what happened to Minik. Yeah. And that comes from martial arts as well. Always on your toes.
And Marieve Dicaire, a decorated black belt in karate, started karate at age 6. Became a black belt at 11, a 5th-degree black belt here, and she realized karate was not an Olympic sport, so it was either taekwondo or boxing. She said, "Okay, I'll give boxing a try.
Yeah,
see what this is all about."
Let's see where this takes me.
It's taking her to this unification fight against the self-proclaimed quote.
Look at Claressa's footwork, Justin, perfect. That left leg is always on the outside.
Perfectly placed against the southpaw.
Always on the outside of Marieve's guard.
Marieve coming inside there, and she's met by a counter from Shields and another smothering left hand from Claressa Shields.
In that corner. She's very jumpy, but look at how she tries to stay outside, but it's Claressa that positions her foot right on the spot. She's on point looking for that jab. And Dicaire tries to take that left leg in order to use that jab. It just doesn't, it's not opening her space.
For only having 1 pro fight against a southpaw, coming a few years ago at that, her 3rd pro fight against Sydney LeBlanc, just the intuitiveness of keeping that lead leg on the outside. Yeah, you train it, and of course her trainer, John David Johnson, a southpaw. She says he's the toughest southpaw that she's ever faced, but she has that instinction to just know where to place it despite such limited experience against southpaws inside the ring.
Flying hours, Justin. That's flying hours. That means she's exercised, she's used it, she's actually sparred on it. And you can see the result.
Third round action beginning here in Flint. Claressa Shields' hometown. 375 fans in attendance in limited capacity here at the Dordt Federal Union Financial Center. And here comes Claressa Shields teeing off on Dicaire, backing her up. Wide rights from Shields. Shields looking for a home run, trying to make an impression in her hometown and on pay-per-view. Marie-Ève Dicaire, and Shields' his eyes throwing an elbow there. Michael Griffin warning Dicaire. She gets met there by a vicious right cross from Shields.
That's her boxing acumen. You give her space, she's going to capitalize it. And that's exactly what she's doing right now.
And Dicaire didn't make the same mistake twice. Shields scraping here again with that right hand. They may have butted heads briefly. They work back to the middle of the ring here. This 154-pound unification bout.
I have a couple of numbers for you. 1,431 punches against 512. That's exactly how Claressa Shields out-punches her opponents. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna, Mamba out. And that's what we're watching right now.
Crisp right cross again. She pops Dicaire at the end of round 3.
One of the things that I was looking for in Claressa tonight was the leader mentality resulting and reflecting in that ring with ring red.
Was it being made? Nope, now it's off again. All throughout the pandemic, all throughout 2020. Really forced her to expedite a transition into MMA, something that she has on her docket for later this year.
Yeah.
She wants to fight an MMA battle in June for the first time, switch back to boxing in September, and then have another MMA event in December.
Why not? If the opportunities are not presenting themselves here in the ring, why not go into a cage? I mean, Holly Holm did a great job. Ronda Rousey gave her the opportunity, and guess what? It came up tenfold for her in gains.
Shields says, I've accomplished everything I can in boxing.
In 10 fights.
Yes.
She is one of 3 women that have had championships at 168, 160, and 154.
She says, why not make it interesting? I want to simultaneously hold world titles in boxing and in MMA.
Why not? Serranos do.
Dicaire trying to find an angle inside.
But
Shields,
a
lot of gamesmanship right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to what Dan was saying. Happiest fighter ever. She's still smiling.
Yep.
Oh,
The
she
right
got
hand
rocked.
caught downstairs.
Yes, but her footwork is flawless. That is key. Legs have to be underneath, and they have to be nice and tight. And that is still there. Yes, she got caught, but she recovered.
Outside from that instance in round 3, Dicaire hasn't waded too much as far as in the deep, muddy water. She's been able to high-step her way out of damaging situations, for the most part.
Yeah, because she realized that if she gives Claressa any time, she'll pay. Oh.
And there we have a little showmanship from Dicaire. We have not seen that at all this entire week, the entire lead up to the fight. But it's triggered in round 4.
Yes, yes, but she did say that. Do not take my happiness for weakness. Once I walk into the ring, it's a completely different ballgame. See, she keeps that stick up front. Claressa's just waiting for her, and baits her in to come in with those hooks. That left hook is coming with all kinds of bad intentions, and I'm waiting for that left hook to connect and see how Marie-Ève is going to take it.
Shields landed a fight high 13 punches in round number 3, according to CompuBox. In round number 4, more of a chess match between the two as far as punches landing, but some juice heading into round 5 for sure.
The hands on Dicaire's defense has changed from the regular stance to a cat stance. It's
Pause up.
yes. Call it cat stance.
Close to a headbutt there, nothing happening. As Claressa Shields tries to navigate through her second southpaw opponent in her pro career. Dangerous footing there from Dicaire, and she's able to get out of it.
Yeah, but great footing from Claressa. Shortening the distance from the outside just to bring in those short punches.
Both fighters here in round 5 waiting for a mistake from their opponent. Do you like those overhand rights from Claressa Shields?
Yes, and they come with really, really bad intentions, and I'm just waiting for that left one to land. And I want to see how Dicaire handles that, because that's why she's shortening the distance with her right leg in the outside just to set up for that left.
10 seconds to go, and another beautiful, crisp shot predicated off that footwork.
Yes. Ooh, things are heating up. And this
go for round number 6 here in Flint. An all-women's pay-per-view leading to this main event. Claressa Shields, Marie-Ève Dicaire for a chance to unify at 154 pounds. And for Claressa Shields to be undisputed for a second time. Let's take a look at some of the CompuBox stats here in round number 6. Dicaire landing just 17 total punches in the fight.
and now her jab does not exist. Once she changed that defense stance to pause up, that's very difficult to throw a jab that's gonna set up anything. And now Claressa is literally walking her down.
A big shot from the left hand by Shields.
And that I'm waiting for that one. I'm calling it right now. See how she walks inside? And she's just gonna use that left like it's gonna go out of style.
A minute to go here in round 6. This is the first long stretch where you could potentially sense that Dicaire could be in trouble here.
Stéphane Arnois is looking at his pupil closely.
Big combo from Shields, trying to find the opening. And she rocks the jaw with that right hand. Comes in with another uppercut for good measure. Again, Dicaire just landing 12.2% of her punches. This is Dicaire's first match against an undefeated opponent. Underdog for the first time in her career. She relished the opportunity, but Claressa Shields adding the mustard through 6 rounds with some effective punching against the Canadian.
I like the composure. The footwork is flawless. There was a little bit of a step in right there. But that right, you said it, it's going so quick. I don't think Dicaire can actually see it. That's 3 punches in a row.
Biggest takeaway so far is that Claressa Shields has elevated that razor sharpness to her punches.
I agree. And that comes with the focus, the maturity, and obviously you were to think that it's only on the 10 fights that she's had as a pro, but let's add the amateur acumen that she brings into the ring as a pro.
Start of round number 7, scheduled to go for 10 in a super welterweight unification between Claressa Shields and Marie-Ève Dicaire.
That bouncing, I thought by now she would settle down. With a fighter like Claressa, you need to settle down.
Shields belting her with that right hand again, trying to avoid the smother.
That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about Marlene Esparza. She brought the tempo down, and then she brought it up. She intensified the bout when she needed to. And Dicaire hasn't been able to slow Claressa down. She hasn't been able to even adjust her distance.
You mentioned it, you were surprised that the jumpity footwork is still here in round 7. You thought maybe if you got tagged a couple of times you would have settled down at this point, but it is still prevalent with Marie-Ève Dicaire here in round number 7.
But by now I think it's being counterproductive because she hasn't been able to sit into any of her punches because she's constantly bouncing. So even if Claressa is actually shortening the distance, and she did find the distance, she's too jumpy. She's still bouncing.
Closing seconds of round 7.
So there's times when you need to be dancing around. But once you go into the distance, you need to be able to settle down and be able to connect. You can't connect and bounce at the same time.
But the game plan has to change starting right now.
Oh, it should have started a couple of rounds ago. She's already playing catch-up. And by now, mathematically speaking,
it'll be too deep of a hole for her to climb out of, for sure. But it'll be a good barometer for the rest of the way. And if this continues, you could walk out of here saying, hey, Marie-Ève Dicaire maybe not giving herself a chance on this night.
No, but I want to think that there's a sense of urgency, there's a sense of nervousness, there's a lot at play for Claressa, and she mentioned it, that she was just enjoying this opportunity. She's a happy fighter, even though she just munched a nice jab right there.
Claressa Shields has said in the past, you know, some of the things like she would want to try and improve upon. Again, just 25 years of old, not rush as much. Not rush as much, and we've seen her at times getting excited, but she's not losing control in any sense of the word.
We can see a difference between the Shields that faced Hammer and the Shields that faced Habazin and the Shields we see today.
Which is impressive because I feel like each time you've seen Claressa Shields now, since getting knocked down by Hannah Gabriels, she has brought it to another level with each battle. She's continued that, even with the 14-month layoff.
Yes. And that's a shout out to the type of dedication and commitment that she has, because she never stopped working out.
Under a minute to go in round 8.
But the tempo, her pace just slowed down for this round. I mean, she really doesn't need to expose herself now.
Shields turning the dial back just a bit before unloading on a 3-punch combo.
When she's in range, for sure a flurry's coming in.
Stay loose, stay loose. You gotta stay loose on her. She's gonna hold you every time. Stay loose. There you go.
There she is.
Don't load up.
That right. I'm waiting for that left to land.
Just a lot of viciousness with that right hand.
Yes. This is a really good fight. People are enjoying it. They're really soaking up this opportunity of two very good prize fighters.
Big prize on the line, the chance to be called undisputed at the end of this one. The pace dictated throughout the last 8 rounds here from Claressa Shields.
So when Claressa just walks enough into that range, she throws so many punches, and Mariev can only just sit and eat them and maybe counterpunch with one. With there's no effective aggression.
Now 8 rounds in the books on your scorecard. That we do value here. I mean, it's on beautiful stationery here, Claudia. Do we have a round for Dicaire at all?
No.
Round number 9 underway.
And unfortunately, at this point in time, you know, the system doesn't allow to express what really happens in the ring. I gotta give credit to all those things that Dicaire brings to the table, which is always engaging, always she's game, she's willing to just walk into Claressa's space. But she's just not effective enough, and I start with the footwork.
Another big right cross from Claressa Shields. You see Dicaire venturing into that space that you're talking about, and she's bounced immediately out.
So you're supposed to be light enough that you can walk in and walk out, but not so light that you cannot just pivot in order to plant and sit in your punch. I mean, it's so easy to be said, you know. We can talk about it till we're blue in the face. Go do it. Especially when it's Claressa's punishment coming at you.
Good movement, good punch placement from Shields again. Making an impact.
Right hand hook. There you go. Good.
Stéphane Arnois is asking Dicaire to go for the hooks, look for the body. You got to get in range first.
Shields turning up the dial in these last few seconds of round 9.
She sold this round, definitely. Started slow and then tighten it up, closing those last 10 seconds.
Now, you might have thought, Dicaire put forward, maybe her best round.
I agree.
But still think it was dictated by Shields' pace.
I agree with that too. And we can see it now in the replay. See, she's baiting her in, and then it's Claressa, the one that starts the action. I didn't see the elbow. Did you see the elbow?
I did, yes. But this is the second time happening in the same corner.
Well, she was called on it. And then, of course, the instructions from the corner are very solid for Dicaire. This is it.
Well, we know what happens next year in round 10.
Ladies
After
and gentlemen,
what we've
this
seen in round
is
9,
the 10th and
gonna turn up the volume a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
to try and close this out here. Final round of this 154 title match. This has been a cool atmosphere. Obviously,
Yes.
limited capacity. This place is able to hold close to 4,500. It would have been a lot more than that. Would have been well over 6,000 with the floor seating here. But again, COVID protocols, state of Michigan allowing 375 people inside here tonight as they watch Flint, Michigan's most decorated athlete in history. And there's a lot to choose from.
Yes.
Not just in boxing where you have Anthony and Andre Durrell. Plenty of other multi-sport stars coming through as well. Mark Ingram, Mateen Cleaves, Michigan State basketball great, JaVale McGee. But here, Flint, Michigan, it is Claressa Shields' hometown.
And after 10 rounds of going all out, none of them have said or even given a glimpse of any type of exhaustion, tired, dehydration. Zero. Zero.
50 seconds to go in this title fight here on pay-per-view. Claressa Shields, Maria of Dicaire. Left hook from Shields, which was so prominent
Wow.
in that fight against Ivana Habazin. Not as much here, doing more work with that right cross. But here, connecting on some combos in round 10 against Maria of Dicaire.
We can definitely see a much more refined technique on Claressa. And we got to give credit to Coach Cooper because that was the intention for the last year.
Can we coin it bait and wait?
Yes.
Bait and wait? Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her patience today, sitting and capitalizing.
Winding down, last few seconds. And those two go the distance here in this welterweight fight. And that is beautiful to see at the end of this title fight and at the end of an unprecedented night for women's boxing. The Claressa Shields running away with this 10-rounder.
And in a perfectly fought fight. I mean, technique was there, fight plan, she adhered to everything, emotionally, mentally, she was focused.
You'd be floored if it wasn't a clean sweep on the scorecards.
Yeah. Would you?
I would be floored, yes. But
And the sad part is that doesn't really reflect on Dicaire's effort and talent.
that's right. It's
Because-
correct. If you watch this, you know, one, you know that she wasn't fighting her fight. You could tell. I think you're intimidated by going in there with Claressa Shields, obviously to an extent. It's just a little disappointing that it lasted for maybe 7 rounds and change. You would have liked to see that come about. But all the same, you saw it wasn't easy for Claressa at the same time. She
No.
wanted a knockout. I mean, she wanted an impressive showing. It was impressive, but for all the talk that she put together as far as going for the knockout, she really hadn't been talking like that in her prior fights.
I don't
This
think
meant
I've
something,
ever- yes.
but it's not obviously not a disappointment.
Well, Dicaire did not sell this cheap. And again, when you're going on a 10-9 system, it doesn't really reflect how much effort Dicaire actually made Claressa put in every single round. I would have liked that 9th round to be repeated from the very beginning of the fight. But of course, it didn't happen. She had to settle in. I would still like to see that footwork being a little bit more solid and more stable.
Well, all that is waiting for history to become official is our man Ray Flores. Let's go inside the ring, get the finals from Ray.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judges Perla Rodriguez, Mauro Di Fiore, and Robin Taylor scored about identical. 100 to 90 for your winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, and now the undisputed super welterweight champion of the world, from Flint, Michigan, Claressa T-Rex.